Hi guys, Darren from Venom Fluid Art.
With Bubbles.
Can't forget Bubbles.
'Cause I won't let you.
No doubt.
So tonight is the last of our Bloom series.
Ooh.
Yeah, the last play night for Blooms in the Venom Garage.
Okay.
We're going to step it up to swipes next week.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so what I figured today is, a lot of people, like you go from your little blooms
Yeah.
on your small 4-inch tiles. We went up to the 6-inch, went up to the 8s, to the 12s.
Yep.
So what I found, I seen, because I sort of read a lot of things on Facebook, so you can see what people are sort of struggling with.
Yep.
Double and triple blooms.
Yep.
So I figured we might just show everyone tonight the way we do them.
Why not?
So hopefully it gives people out there a little bit of tip and tricks so they can get their double or triple blooms rocking.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Yeah, so I'm going to start off. So I've spun my pillow out too.
Right.
Only because I find for me, I've got more control over the 3 blooms.
When the pillow's spun right
When
out.
the pillow is spun right out.
So spun out means there's no movement in it.
And I've got less chance at the very end, when you're doing them final spin outs, of losing the 2 outside ones right over the edge.
Right.
And you find your 2 outside ones always get that little bit of a discombobulated look. But I've found, for me, by putting less paint on those and having a spun out pillow, I can keep a little bit more shape.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try and demonstrate that right now.
Righto.
So it's usually when you say that, it doesn't work so well. But what I am going to do first is, because I figure sometimes when people are starting out, they have a little bit of trouble with getting them to move as well
Yep.
and do their thing. So if you are concerned that you're not going to get it to your edges and that's what you want,
Yep.
sometimes you want that little bit of a negative space so it looks sort of like a flower garden,
Yeah.
which is really cool too. But if you're going for right over the edges and you're concerned you're not going to get it, cheat.
I see.
So what we're going to do is cheat. So what I've got is just my little tiny palette knife.
Yep.
And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a little bit of red CA.
Yeah.
Because on this palette I'm using red, orange and maybe yellow. Haven't sort of made my mind up on the yellow yet.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is a little bit of red CA.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to add a little bit of that neon paint there.
Yeah.
And I'm going to add a little bit of Grenache by this little piggy. So just looks like that. So all I'm going to do is, this is my just in case I bugger up the 3 blooms and don't get it how I want it.
Right.
Backup plan. So all I'm going to do is a little swipe like this for a little bit of feature, just in case.
Right.
So I'm going to turn it around. I'm just going to let that do its thing because I really don't care what it does, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because, most of that's going to spin off anyway.
Yep, and it's just the backup.
And, all it's doing is filling space in the background.
So it's just for people starting out, giving their doubles and triple blooms a bit of a go. That way you've got a bit of backup pattern going on the edges in case them blooms don't behave. That way you can still get a stunner. And do that famous happy dance. Everyone deserves a happy dance.
Yes.
So that's all I'm going to do.
Yep.
And I'm just now going to wipe my hands. Get a bit gooey there.
A little gooey.
And I'm just going to sit the palette knife down.
Yep.
Now we can get to our blooms. Alright. What I might do is just quickly open up all these containers. And Can you check George is awake for me, hun,
I
please?
certainly can.
Oh, hello.
He's
There he
awake.
is. And I'll tell you what, that can take a lot of time getting used to as well.
Yeah, the mini blower.
The mini blower.
We have a video on the mini blower.
Sure do. Put
Throw
that...
that up on the screen now.
Yeah.
That way you can see how we manipulate the little mini blower.
Because, now you want to get your first one as much in the centre as you want, because here's your showpiece.
Yep.
And this one will have that... Oh, I just caught a goober.
Lucky.
This one, I always put more paint on him than his two partners either side. Because more paint on him, he's got the bigger area in the middle where he spreads out pretty even.
Yep.
These two smaller ones usually go skew with. But I found if you just give them that little bit less paint. So they're our babies. It's sort of even either side if you can. Bubbles isn't usually so good at getting the centre, but that looks all right today. Look at me go, right?
Not bad at all.
Woohoo!
Go Bubbles.
Go Bubbles. Now, I'm going to pump out some neon reds. Barnes reds, really cool colours.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're lush.
really are. So we're going to add some of that gorgeous colour to that. So that's the same red that we actually added to our palette knife swipe on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
So that way, what I was thinking is, it sort of blends in a little bit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if your bloom does go well, you might just end up with pretty cool little cells on the edges. I'm hoping.
Fingers crossed.
Because it'd be pretty concerning to do a teaching video and it all go bad. I would laugh at oneself. You got to laugh, don't you?
Yes.
That's what it's all about, just having fun and going with it. All right. So you can see how them pools are still so much smaller.
Yeah.
That's my thing though, like, you know, someone else may do it a different way.
Yep.
And that's cool. You just figure out what works best for you. This is my trial and error of what works for me.
Yeah.
Because I know you do things completely different to me again. Yet you taught me. So we all sort of take something from someone else, don't we?
Yeah, and then just modify it to suit you.
Yeah. Because you got to think, some people can have like either hand finger problems or wrist problems. So there can be different things that stops you from doing something the same way as someone else.
Same as lung problems. Some people can't blow these out by mouth because of lung issues.
Yeah. Grab
so
that
you
mini
use the little
blower.
mini blower instead.
Then I use the mini blower because, like, I started out by blowing all blooms out by mouth.
Yes.
But with the RA in my jawbones, some days it was just too hard.
Yeah, you can't blow it out.
Well, yeah, I couldn't get the angle right. It sounded like a blow-off valve.
Sounds funny though.
It does.
I get a giggle out of it.
No doubt. But it's all about fun. So to me, it's about making it what's easy for you to accomplish the same end result as someone else.
That's right.
With your own twist, of course.
Yep, there's 100 ways of skinning a cat.
Absolutely. And that's why I don't agree when someone says you can only blow a bloom out one way. No. Completely wrong.
There's a whole heap of different ways to do it.
And it can depend on what you're doing.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that cute little puddle. Now, I'm tossing up, do I or don't I? I'm thinking no. Oh, you know what?
You're going to run the gauntlet, aren't you?
I'm going to add, I haven't used lemon sorbet, this little piggy, for ages. And we all know it was a Bubbles' favourite. Well, still is. So I'm going to do it.
Right.
Yep. What I am going to do, though, is just to change my CA colour at the very end. little dab. Just a little dab. Because, as you know, sometimes the last colour you put down before you add that CA can take on the colour too.
Yes.
So that can change the whole effect of it. All right. Are we ready?
Oh, yeah.
So, think of these ones too, like doing a tile. It's only little.
Yeah.
So you're doing 3 little blooms.
Yes.
Even though you've got a bigger shape, you've still got to think little.
Yeah. That's right.
So, small amount of CA. Like I'm doing a tiny tile.
Yes.
And I like to start in the centre.
Yep.
That's just my thing. I'm going to let that sit.
Ooh.
I'm going to let it sit now. We're going to do one of these little ones.
Definitely need your glasses on for that one.
Oh, these get me with the mini blower. I used to end up blowing, when I first started and practicing with George, I ended up blowing the paint straight off the tile, and it's like, what happened? Where'd it go?
Exactly.
Bit of patience. And walk the spinner around with these. I found that's easy for me.
Yep.
Don't try and use your wrist to go around. Move the spinner.
Yeah.
Use it to your advantage.
That's right. That's what it's there for.
Because otherwise you could end up like I first started out and blow it straight over there. It's like, where'd you go? Can't have that. But it's all in the fun of it. All right, are we ready? Last one. And walk him around. You just puff out slowly because you've got to remember you don't have much paint. You've got a spun out pillow. I'm going to sit on him because he's going to sink.
Yes, it will.
He is definitely going to sink. Oh, excuse me.
I excuse you, my child.
I'm pretty happy I used the lemon sorbet now. Just saying. So, it's up to you what you do in between.
Yeah, you can either tie them into each other or leave
Absolutely.
them totally separate. It's up to you.
You can even blow them over and into each other.
Yeah, you could grab your straw out and blow
Absolutely.
just over the top of each other.
And
or
feather in between.
yeah.
But I'm going to tie my shoelaces. Just like that. Nice and simple. So my tying the shoelaces is my infinity symbol. And then up.
Back through the middle.
And down. So, ties them in. Get it?
Yeah.
You got it right. Bubbles, bad joke for the day. Oh dear.
Is that a did you know?
If people come back for more after my bad jokes today, I love yous. It's been a long week.
No doubt. It shows.
Well, it does when I start to share your bad jokes.
Yeah.
It's pretty sad, people. So, just adding a little bit of feature. Now, this is why I never grab the straw out in a hurry with the centre of the blooms. Because you could see before this one still had black all through here. And this one's slowly popping up as we go.
Yeah.
So, while we're ignoring that word patience, we're distracting ourselves by doing a little bit of embellishing.
Why not?
And that way, I'm not rushing for that straw because I want the big solid cells.
Yes.
That's what I really want with this. So, next thing too, when I start to spin, normally I'm quite an aggressive spinner. With these, I found if I want to keep a little bit of definition in them edges, I've got to go a little bit slower.
Yes.
So I definitely have learned that the hard way. So hopefully I'm saving someone else the heartache. All right. So that's what we have so far.
That is absolutely gorgeous.
So I'm actually happy I did the
swipe at either side.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that. I really am. Like, sometimes you do lose it all.
Sometimes you don't.
But if there's not that much colour in them blooms, well, you've got a bit of feature for your edges.
Yeah.
Now we're just going to slowly potter around. Slow and steady wins the race. I'm going to be the turtle right now and not the hare. I'm trying. Don't think that needs much more. Look at that.
That's because you'd spun the pillow right out. You didn't
That's
have much
right.
paint on the surface.
So, and that's the big thing too, because I see so many people, and they may be going for those deconstructed bloom looks on the two outer ones.
Yeah.
But I like them to look really solid like this. I think that
Yeah.
looks more like a bit more like a flower effect.
And it's really not that easy to achieve on the outside ones.
No, but
I'll show why when I
Yeah.
do mine.
but I found like just lots of trial and error and buggering them up.
Yeah.
Less paint colour puddles on them outer ones, spun out pillow, and just really spin it gentle.
Yeah.
Slow either way, a few spins, and it does take twice as long.
Yes.
But what's your hurry? You're creating and having a little bit of fun, so
Exactly.
it
There's
shouldn't
no
be.
rush to it.
No. So there we go.
That is phenomenal. And it's held the shape really, really well.
Yeah. So,
That is gorgeous.
and as you can see, because I didn't put enough colour here, it didn't matter because I did have that little bit of extra feature on the outside. So
Yeah.
the whole composition sort of it looks even.
Yeah.
So what I reckon, we'll do a flyover reel of that one.
I think we will.
So you can have a close-up look, but I really love them outside ones.
It's gorgeous.
They
Absolutely love it.
Stayed really solid, didn't they? Very cool. I'm smiling. Little happy dance. And I hope you've all got something out of that, because it's just, when you do these type of videos, you sort of think, now, what was difficult for me?
Yeah.
That's what I've sort of thought of with...
What you had struggles with, you can actually go, hey, this is how I got around them struggles.
yeah, this was my trial and error to get to here, and this is what you did to fix it.
Yeah.
So,
So you'll notice with the end ones, they're wider from the centre out,
yeah,
compared to the inside edge.
absolutely.
Compared to what the middle one is, it's spun out perfect, all directions. But I'll show you in mine why that happens.
Perfect. So that should be our flyover reel done by now too, shouldn't it?
Oh, I'd say it's pretty close because that's gorgeous. I'm doing a nice flyover of it.
Thank you very much.
Top job, Bubbles. I'm highly impressed.
Thank you. But I just hope it helps someone else, because these can be a real nemesis.
Absolutely.
But
All right.
they are beautiful.
We'll press pause and I'll grab a blank and we'll have a bit of a play.
And we are back.
We are. Okay. So what I'm going to do is just pick a random colour. I think we'll go with orange. And what I'm going to do is put a puddle dead centre.
Are you picking on my version of the centre?
No. Not at all.
Well, you can. Everyone knows I always
No,
miss it.
that's fine. Right. Now, when that's right in the middle of a spinner, when you rotate that spinner, and that's dead smack in the middle, it's travelling slower than what your outsides are. So that's going to spread out slowly in all directions evenly. Like that. If we put the same size puddle at the ends and give it a spin, we can actually see what the laws of physics are actually doing to our paints. Alright, so we'll give that a scoop there.
And this is what I had trouble with when you were first teaching me.
Yeah.
This is exactly what you taught me.
So we'll put 2 scoops of that down. They're pretty close as it spreads out. So they're pretty much all the same size. So these ones on the outside won't spread evenly that way and that way because they're off the center line. Remember, if you're my age or older, we used to have little merry-go-rounds in the local parks where you'd had like a little cage and you'd spin it round and everyone would fly off and get hurt.
And was so much fun.
But if you stood in the middle of it, when it spun, you just go round and round. It was the people on the outside parts that would want to be thrown off.
Exactly the same concept here.
Centrifuge.
Yes.
Works the same sort of way. As it spins, the forces are going outwards in all directions and want to throw you off. So what we'll do is give this a spin, and I'll show you why you end up with wonky blooms on the outside edges of something that's not in the center of your spinner. That one there's dead middle. They're way off the center line by, 3 inches. So what we'll do is give that a spin. Middle one's starting to open up.
Beautiful.
But look at the size of the outside ones.
Yep.
Okay? They've all spread that way and not that way.
And isn't it when someone does this for you guys that it makes sense?
That's why
It helps you understand.
your blooms on the outside of something that's not dead center always look wonky. There's no possible way around it. They are still going to be a different shape to whatever the center is.
Yep.
Even on yours, they weren't perfectly round.
No.
They were
Odd.
stretched out one way more than the other, and that was the outside section.
Absolutely.
That was all stretched out more than what the inside was.
Yep.
That's the end result.
Of trying to break the laws of physics.
Exactly. you can't cheat the laws of physics.
No, but you can try
You can
and alter
manipulate it.
Yes.
To suit what you're doing.
Yep. Which is what I did.
The only other real cheat way is, I don't have enough space in this tub with this size thing, but what I do is do a bloom, fully spin it out,
Yes.
move it across to the center mark for the next one, spin it slowly until it spins out,
Yep.
move it across, spin it out slowly. But it's dicey because once you start moving things off center on your spinner, like that,
Then you're changing the laws of physics for all the others on
yeah,
this.
the mass of this piece of MDF wants to take off in that direction,
Yep.
which is a bit scary. That's how you end up launching it. If your piece isn't in the middle of that spinner, it wants to take off in the direction that it overhangs from that center mark.
Because it's on the merry-go-round on the outside.
It's the same as balancing tyres.
Yep.
It's the same thing. So, what we'll do is, we'll pop this one up, and we'll have a little play with the bloom while we're here. May as well.
You got to do it now.
Well, I've got to do it now, but
I won't let you waste that pillow.
no.
Paint something, my love.
But what I'll do is, I'll put the same size puddles on either end, whereas you made the smaller ones.
Yep.
So I'm going to end up with wonky blooms on either end.
Yep.
No matter what I do.
It's going to happen.
Yeah, and that's already spun out really well anyway.
Yeah, it is.
After we've just spun it out. So...
But isn't it so good to see? That's like when we were playing with the koala cutouts and the butterfly cutouts.
Yeah.
And I
the
know,
leaves.
Yeah, and I know we said back then, it's really beneficial to watch the way your pillow is spinning out and what the paint's actually doing on the cutout.
Yes.
So you know what I suppose what technique or style is going to
suit the shape that you're playing with.
Out. Yeah.
Now this is a little bit more exaggerated because it's oval shaped.
Yeah.
If it was on a round, it's still going to happen because you're not on the center line.
No, you're still on the merry-go-round on the outside.
That's exactly right. So.
See, I love that because that just made so much sense to me when you taught me that.
Yeah. But just being able to see what happens with the exact same pillow sizes, bottle sizes.
It turns the light on to understand.
Yeah. You see how things move.
Absolutely.
So inside hardly swelled up. I mean, it spread out a little bit, but nothing overboard.
But it was still a circle.
But it was still a perfect circle like it is now.
Yeah.
Compared to the outside ones where the orange is already hanging over the edges.
It's just going to give it a bit of feature, honey.
Yeah, so you're going to end up with deconstructed blooms on the outside edges every time.
Yep.
So don't freak out when it happens because it's going to happen.
That's the way it's going to be.
Like I said, you can cheat like Bubbles did by spinning everything out and putting tiny amounts of paint.
Cheating's good.
It does work, and it works really, really well.
Yeah, but the outside ones, even though I kept my bigger cellars like I wanted and more defined.
They're not perfectly round like the middle one.
Deconstructed. They still looked like blooms.
Yes.
But they were still an odd-shaped flower.
Yes, exactly.
I had orchids.
Yeah. So now they're all the same size. Probably went a bit close to the edge, but whatever.
Blow that way.
Exactly. So you can either start with the middle one, start with the edge one. It doesn't really make a difference.
No, it's just a preference, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because I always start in the middle, and I think it's because I've always done that.
Yeah.
Oh, look at the colours in that. Sorry, got excited.
See, if you've got a lot of pillow down too, as you blow that out, you're going to get a little wave that bulges up.
Yeah.
So when you blow this one out, it's going to hit that bulge.
Yep.
And distort things anyway.
Yeah. Oh, look at the colours in that.
That's where spinning your pillow out comes in pretty handy.
Yeah, it does.
All right, we'll do the same with that.
The thing is that all of this should be enjoyable, so make it easy for yourself.
Exactly, it's just a bit of fun. Right, so puff that. What I'll do is lift up a little bit.
Yep. You really made it hard for yourself right off the edge.
I made it really hard straight off the edge.
I'm so glad that's you and not me.
I made it really hard for myself.
Oh, yeah, but look at that. Excuse me. That's so pretty.
But it is achievable.
Yeah, my oath it is. Anything is.
Right, so we'll add a bit more selective out of that one. Give that one a blow.
Bit of determination, we're good to go.
Right, so I'll puff that out over the centre of the colours. And then just lightly flick it. Like that. So now we've got our crazy blooms.
Oh, they're delightful.
No, they're pretty.
Look at that centre one. The colours off this is just absolutely freaking insane.
So while we're waiting for the cell activator on this one to sync,
Yeah, and it will.
yeah, of course, definitely. What I'll do is grab our little skewer, just start adding some little...
So you used to be one big for grabbing the straw straight away, didn't you?
I do like adding the straw straight away because it gives you different shaped cells.
Cells. You like the little puffy cells.
Yeah, they look like little flowers,
Yeah.
which I tend to like.
You do, don't you?
Yes. Now I know a lot of that's going to come off when I spin it.
Yeah, but if you spin that slowly...
I will spill it. Spill it. I probably will spill it, but...
You should keep a hell of a lot though, shouldn't you?
I should.
Oh, look at that. See the cells in those little swirls? Oh, they're divine.
Do the multicolour through that.
That's sickos.
See our little drop of yellow paint? What we're going to do is draw a line through it. Love heart.
Aww. Is that for
Oh,
Bubbles?
is that for you, Bubbles? Look at you.
You give me a cavity, you're so sweet.
I know, right? You muppet.
Oh no.
All right.
Oh, I love that. Really love that.
So, but I hope that sort of explains why it's so hard to get a triple bloom to actually work and keep them all the same shape.
Yeah.
Even if that was a round, a square, an oblong, doesn't matter what it is. If your paint isn't dead center, it will not spin out perfectly even either direction. It will always go whatever direction it is off the center line.
See, because when I first started these, I always thought I was doing something wrong until you did that paint test and I went, yes!
Click.
I've got it.
Bing, ding, ding, ding,
I've
ding,
been
ding,
doing
ding.
okay.
Exactly. It's not you, it's the laws of physics.
Oh, that is so beautiful.
It's like the same reason
You're just showing off now.
I spin both directions when I do a bloom.
Yeah.
So if you put paint in the middle and blow it out into a line, as you spin that direction, the paint is actually going to want to go this way. Because you've got a force that wants to go that way and that way at the same time. So it will spin curved. If you spin back the other way, it will want to go that way.
Keeps your cells
It's
more
the
defined.
opposite direction to the way you spin them is the way the paint is going to want to flow off. It goes out and curves. So if you spin little bit by little bit, either direction, you're correcting it as you go.
And keeping everything defined.
You're trying to keep it the same angle as it goes out.
Yeah.
You want to keep it as straight going out either direction as you can.
Yeah, absolutely.
So by going out, it's going to go this way. So you go back the other way, and it's sort of going to snake.
And in the end, it balances all out to keep the cells defined.
You don't get as wonky cells as you would if you just go one direction. They all look skew whiff. Especially if you use a big floaty pillow. So we'll give that one a spin. We won't go nuts with it. We won't spin too fast. Keep in mind, I already spun a lot of that in our first little test with the 3 puddles. So there really isn't that much paint on it.
No.
It's mainly just the paint on the top that's floating around now.
Just saying that centre bloom's spectacular.
And by using a low sheen pillow paint,
Yep.
it sort of gives it a grip as
Yeah.
it goes. So the top glossy colours are actually trying to grip to the low sheen as it spins out.
Voila! Crazy girl.
Look at that little beastie, and we kept your heart.
That is stunning.
All right, we'll go back the other way. Now you don't have to count revolutions, because remember, your paint's moved already in one direction, so when you spin back the other way, there isn't as much paint there to move back the other direction to even it up. It's just a bit of practice getting the swing of it. But see how the end ones are deconstructed blooms now?
They have the very similar features, don't
Because they're so far off centre,
they? Yeah.
they wonk out because of that force trying to throw them out. Whereas the centre one is just spread out beautifully all directions.
Mm.
And that's why you get wonky ones at the ends of your pieces rather than perfect blooms like you got.
Yeah.
You put a tiny amount of paint so there isn't as much force on it to wonk it out. The more paint you put down off centre, the more wonky it's going to get.
I like
That's how you end up with wonky cells as well. It's not just your paint's too thin, your pillow paint's too thin, or you've got too much gloss, or
No.
there's so many things that can cause wonky cells. But being off centre is one of the biggest causes of wonky cells. So
I tell you what, though, I dig that a lot.
it does look
Crazy
really
cool.
crazy cool. But that explains why you get that
Yeah,
compared to that.
definitely. And I just tried to cheat the laws of physics in mine.
You did, and you did it exceptionally well. I'm proud of you.
I love experimenting.
And there's our little love heart. Look, he's still there.
I just don't like being told no. It's like, well, why?
Let's cheat. But yes, you can cheat, and yes, it is a lot harder to master it doing it the way Bubbles did.
But in saying that too, they are still not perfect on the outside.
No, they're not. They're not perfectly round like the centre one would be. So, but they can look really, really close.
Yeah.
Plus, another thing that'll wonk them centre, the outside ones out, like you did,
Yep.
is just that little wave of pillow that
Yep.
it stops the colours from travelling.
Yeah.
So it sort of like hits a wave and slows right down. So it's still not perfectly round as if it was in the middle and you're just fluffing it out. All right. So,
We hope that all helped you out there today.
fingers crossed that shed a light on why you get things like this when you spin it out hoping for different results.
Yeah. And if anyone just does try the way that we've just sort of explained things, stick it up in our Facebook page.
Yeah.
Yeah, join our group, come and show us what you've got and show those pics for us so we can see.
Yep, links in the description. That's Paint Pouring by Venom Fluid Art.
Yeah, because I'd love to see what people do.
Yep, have a crack, post them up, let us see how you go.
So that is us for Bloom.
It is.
Blooms are done.
So, if you like that, please hit like, share and subscribe. Ring that notification bell.
Thanks, Tinker.
That way you get to see all our videos as we release them. If you've got any questions, just drop them in the comments. I do manage to get back to them a lot quicker in the group because I spend more time in there than what I do on Facebook, YouTube. But, yeah, if you've got any questions, just drop them in the comments and I'll get back to you as soon as possible.
Absolutely, we will.
Okay, so that is it from us this week.
Yep,
Swipes next week, I feel.
absolutely. Swipes is on.
Okay, so have fun, take care, and,
And we'll see you in the next one.
Bye for now.
Have a fantastic day, guys.